The ultimatum commander, Alina Vasquez, pressed her palm against the cold metal of the observation deck window. Beyond the reinforced glass, Jupiter's great red spot churned like an ancient storm god's eye. The Deep Space Monitoring Station had orbited the gas giant for 12 years, watching the void between stars for signs of alien activity. Today, that void was no longer empty. The command center buzzed with quiet tension as Elena's team worked at their stations. Red warning lights cast an ominous glow across the room. 3 months ago, they had detected the first signs of the approaching fleet. Now, 15 distinct alien ship signatures filled their long-range sensors. Dr. Marcus Chen looked up from his xenobiology console, his face pale beneath the harsh overhead lighting. He had spent his career studying alien species through peaceful contact protocols. Nothing in his experience had prepared him for this moment. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission on all human frequencies simultaneously," Dr. Chen reported, his voice steady despite the circumstances. "It's being broadcast to every human settlement, every ship, every outpost in known space." Elena nodded grimly. She had been expecting this moment ever since the fleet appeared at the edge of their sensor range. "Put it through to the main screen, Marcus. Let's see what they want." The massive display flickered to life, revealing a council chamber filled with representatives from 15 different alien species. At the center sat a tall, crystalline being whose body seemed to bend light around itself. This was Archon Zethkar, of the Hegemony Alliance, the most powerful political entity in the galaxy. Humans of Earth and her colonies, the Archon's voice resonated through their translation systems, carrying an authority that had commanded respect across 1,000 worlds. "I speak for the Hegemony Alliance, representing 15 civilizations and over 2 trillion sentient beings." Captain Riley Thompson shifted uncomfortably at her tactical station. As the station's defense coordinator, she had run countless simulations of first contact scenarios. None of them had looked like this. Her screens showed weapons, signatures from the alien fleet that dwarfed anything in humanity's current arsenal. "We have observed your species for the past 50 years since first contact," Archon Zethkar continued. "Your rapid expansion into the Outer Rim territories has become a matter of significant concern. In half a century, you have established colonies in 47 star systems. Your population growth exceeds that of any known species in recorded galactic history." Alina felt her jaw clench. Humanity's expansion had been peaceful, focused on terraforming uninhabited worlds and mining asteroids in empty systems. They had followed every galactic treaty and respected the boundaries of established civilizations. Furthermore, the Archon's image shimmered as it spoke. "Your technological advancement rate is unprecedented. You have achieved in decades what most species require centuries to accomplish. Your military development, while officially defensive, shows patterns that our strategists find ... disturbing." Ambassador Kai Singh stepped into view from where he had been monitoring the transmission from the diplomatic section. As humanity's chief representative to alien civilizations, he had spent years building relationships with various species. His dark eyes showed both anger and disappointment as he listened to the Archon's words. "The Hegemony Alliance has reached a unanimous decision regarding the human situation," Archon Zethkar announced. "You represent a potential threat to galactic stability. Your aggressive expansion and rapid militarization cannot be allowed to continue unchecked." The chamber behind the Archon buzzed with movement as other alien representatives nodded in agreement. Alina recognized several species that humanity had maintained friendly relations with for decades. Their betrayal stung more than open hostility from strangers would have. Therefore, the hegemony presents humanity with the following terms. The Archon's voice grew colder. You will immediately cease all colonial expansion beyond your current territories. You will reduce your military forces to levels deemed appropriate for a developing species. You will accept hegemony oversight of your technological development to ensure it proceeds at a responsible pace. Dr. Chun's hands trembled slightly as he processed the alien's words. A lifetime of scientific cooperation and cultural exchange was being swept away by fear and politics. Additionally, the Archon continued, humanity will relocate populations from 12 Outer Rim colonies that the hegemony considers strategically sensitive. These worlds will be placed under our protection to ensure they cannot be used as staging areas for future human expansion. Captain Thompson's tactical display showed the locations of those 12 colonies. Over 3 million humans lived on those worlds. Families who had spent generations building new homes among the stars were being told to abandon everything they had created. You have 72 standard hours to provide your response, the Archon declared. Acceptance of these terms will allow humanity to continue existing as a member species under hegemony guidance. Rejection will force us to take more direct action to neutralize the human threat. The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the command center in stunned silence. Alina stared at the blank screen for several moments before turning to address her team. Riley, what's the tactical situation? She asked, her command training taking over despite the emotional turmoil of the moment. Captain Thompson consulted her displays with professional efficiency. 1,500 ships in the main fleet, Commander. They're maintaining position at the edge of our solar system, but they have smaller task forces positioned near major human colonies. If they're serious about their ultimatum, they have the firepower to enforce it. Ambassador Singh stepped forward, his diplomatic composure cracking slightly. Alina, I've worked with some of these species for years. The Vorthan Republic, the Keelian Federation. I thought we had built genuine friendships with them. How could they stand with the hegemony on this? Alina placed a reassuring hand on the ambassador's shoulder. She had seen fear overcome friendship before, during humanity's own troubled history. Fear makes people do things they never thought they would, Kai. The question is, what do we do? Now, Dr. Chen looked up from his console, where he had been analyzing the alien fleet compositions. Commander, I've been studying hegemony expansion patterns for the past decade. Every species that has submitted to their protection has eventually lost their independence entirely. They become client states, their technology stagnates, their cultures fade. The weight of the decision pressed down on Alina like the gravity of the gas giant below them. As commander of humanity's most advanced monitoring station, her recommendation would carry significant weight with Earth's leadership. What about our own capabilities? She asked Captain Thompson. If it comes to a fight, what are our realistic chances? Thompson hesitated before answering. Based on known human military assets, we're outgunned by at least 10 to 1. Our newest ships are fast and well armed, but we simply don't have the numbers to face a force this size in open battle. Alina walked back to the observation window and stared out at Jupiter's roiling surface. Somewhere beyond that planetary horizon, Earth was probably conducting emergency sessions to decide humanity's fate. The choice seemed impossible: surrender, their freedom and independence, or face annihilation against overwhelming odds. Commander, Dr. Chen said quietly, there's something else you should know. I've been monitoring background communications from the hegemony fleet. They're not just here to deliver an ultimatum. They're prepared for immediate action if we refuse. This isn't a negotiation. It's a final demand. Ambassador Singh moved to stand beside Alina at the window. My contacts in the galactic diplomatic community have gone silent. No one is willing to speak against the hegemony publicly, but some of the private messages I've received suggest that other species are watching this situation very carefully. How humanity responds could affect the balance of power in the galaxy. For centuries, Alina felt the burden of history settling on her shoulders. Humanity stood at a crossroads that would define their species' future among the stars. Submit and survive as subordinates, or fight and risk everything for the chance to remain free. "Get me a priority channel to Earth Command," she ordered. "It's time to find out what humanity really stands for." As the communication systems connected her to Earth, Alina looked one last time at the alien fleet waiting beyond their solar system. The hegemony had given humanity 72 hours to decide their fate. They had no idea that humanity's answer had been decided the moment they threatened human freedom. The choice between survival and liberty was no choice at all for a species that had fought for independence on countless worlds across human history. The aliens were about to learn that some things were worth fighting for, no matter the odds. In hidden facilities across human space, systems that had been dormant for decades began powering up. Humanity's answer was already being prepared, though. The galaxy would have to wait 72 hours to hear it delivered. Asterisk. The reckoning's of 21 hours had passed since the hegemony's ultimatum. In a secured bunker 3 kilometers beneath the Swiss Alps, General Sarah Mitchell stood before the largest holographic display ever constructed. The map showed every human settlement, every ship, and every hidden installation across 47 star systems. Project Prometheus is fully operational, she announced to the assembled leaders of Earth's most classified military program. All assets are in position and awaiting final authorization. President Maria Santos joined the general at the display, her face showing the strain of 3 sleepless days. As the elected leader of humanity's colonial government, she carried the weight of 17 billion human lives across the galaxy. "Sarah, are you absolutely certain we can pull this off?" President Santos asked quietly. "If we're wrong about our capabilities, every human colony becomes a target for retaliation." General Mitchell had spent 15 years preparing for this exact scenario. While diplomats maintained peaceful relations with alien civilizations, she had been building humanity's real defense against the unknown threats that might emerge from the darkness between stars. "Madam President, we've been testing these systems for over a decade. Our success rate in simulations exceeds 95%. The hegemony has made one critical error in their calculations." Colonel David Park stepped forward from the shadows, where the Special Forces representatives maintained their vigil. His enhanced combat suit gleamed with technology that officially didn't exist in any human database. "They assume we've shown them everything," Colonel Park said, his voice carrying the confidence of a soldier who had seen humanity's hidden arsenal firsthand. "For 50 years, we've been the friendly neighbors, sharing basic technology and cultural exchanges. They have no idea what we've actually been building in secret." Engineer Lisa Wong materialized as a hologram from her position aboard the stealth research vessel. Hidden truth, her team had spent the last 2 decades reverse engineering alien technology and combining it with human innovations that the galaxy had never seen. "The quantum displacement drives are online across all vessels," Engineer Wong reported. "Our ships can now move through space-time in ways that will make hegemony tracking systems useless." They're expecting to fight the humanity they think they know. General Mitchell activated a new section of the display, revealing ship formations that dwarfed anything the hegemony had on record. Sleek vessels emerged from asteroid belts and nebulae where they had been hidden for years, their hulls bearing technology that pushed the boundaries of known physics. The Aurora-class battleships utilize gravity manipulation technology adapted from ancient ruins we discovered in the Epsilon Eridani system, she explained. Each ship can generate localized space distortions that will tear enemy vessels apart at the molecular level. President Santos studied the display with growing amazement. The scope of humanity's secret preparation was breathtaking. How did you hide all of this from our own people, let alone alien observers? Compartmentalization and misdirection, General Mitchell replied. Every human colony received upgraded defense systems that appeared to be standard protection against pirates and natural disasters. What they actually received were components of the most advanced military network in galactic history. The countdown reached its final hour. Across human space, families gathered in their homes, unaware that their survival depended on secrets kept for half a century. Children played in parks on worlds that would soon become battlegrounds. The normal rhythms of human civilization continued, protected by guardians they didn't know existed. Commander Alina Vasquez's voice crackled through the communication system from Sentinel-7. General Mitchell, we're detecting movement from the hegemony fleet. They're positioning assault groups around our major colonies. It looks like they're preparing for simultaneous attacks the moment our deadline expires. Thank you, Commander, General Mitchell acknowledged. You and your people have done excellent work. When this is over, the galaxy will know that humanity's watchers never slept. Colonel Park consulted his tactical chronometer. 30 minutes to deadline, General. Should we begin preliminary deployments? General Mitchell looked at President Santos, who nodded with the resolve of a leader who understood the price of freedom. All units, this is General Mitchell. Execute. Project Prometheus. Show the galaxy what humanity really is. Across 47 star systems, the hidden defenses of human civilization activated simultaneously. On New Melbourne, farming equipment transformed into missile batteries. Mining platforms in the Kepler system revealed themselves as heavily armed fortress stations. Cargo ships shed their disguises to become battleships armed with weapons that defied galactic understanding of physics. The hegemony assault fleets approached their targets expecting minimal resistance. They had faced dozens of young species before. The pattern was always the same: initial defiance, quick defeat, eventual submission. Their strategic computers had calculated victory within standard days. They were about to learn that humans didn't. Follow patterns, Admiral Kethvan of the Hegemony Third Fleet approached the human colony world of Haven's Rest with overwhelming confidence. His 50 ships carried enough firepower to reduce the planet's surface to molten slag. Intelligence reports indicated the world was defended by 3 orbital platforms and a handful of patrol ships. The first sign that something was wrong came when his sensors detected 17 human vessels where there should have been 5. The second sign was when those ships began moving in ways that violated every known law of space combat. Captain Jessica Torres commanded the human defense fleet from her flagship, Defiant Dawn. Her ships didn't form battle lines or maintain protective formations like civilized military forces. Instead, they scattered across 3 dimensions, using quantum displacement drives to appear and disappear like ghosts. All ships, engage at will, Captain Torres ordered. Show them why predicting human tactics is impossible. The The human ships struck from angles that shouldn't have existed, their weapons tearing through hegemony shields as if they were made of paper. Gravity bombs crushed alien vessels into compact spheres of twisted metal. Quantum disruption beams deleted enemy ships from existence by unraveling the bonds between their atoms. Admiral Kethvan watched in horror as half his fleet vanished in the first 5 minutes of combat. "How is this possible?" he demanded of his tactical officer. "Human technology should be decades behind ours." His answer came in the form of a communication from Captain Torres. Her image appeared on his main screen, showing a human female with determined eyes and a slight smile. Asterisk. "Admiral, you made the mistake of judging us by the technology we chose to share," she said calmly. "Humans have been studying galactic civilizations for 50 years. We learned everything about your strengths, your weaknesses, and your tactical preferences. You learned only what we wanted you to know." Similar scenes played out across human space as hegemony assault fleets encountered resistance they couldn't have imagined. The species that had seemed like peaceful colonists revealed themselves to be the most innovative military force the galaxy had ever seen. On Earth, the final transmission was prepared. President Santos stood in the same communication chamber that had received the hegemony's ultimatum 3 days earlier. This time, humanity would be doing the talking. "People of the galaxy," she began, her words being broadcast on every frequency known to galactic civilization. 3 days ago, the Hegemony Alliance demanded that humanity abandon our freedom and submit to their control. They threatened us with extinction if we refused to become their subjects. The transmission showed images of the battles raging across human space. Hegemony fleets that had seemed unstoppable were being systematically destroyed by human forces that fought with creativity and determination that defied galactic military doctrine. "We have chosen to answer their threat, President," Santos continued. "Not with submission, but with strength. Not with fear, but with courage. The hegemony assumed that because we shared our culture freely, we had no secrets. They assumed that because we sought peace, we were weak. They assumed that because we were young, we were naive." General Mitchell stepped into view beside the president. Behind her, the holographic display showed the scope of humanity's hidden military might. Ships, weapons, and technologies that existed beyond the hegemony's understanding of what was possible. "They were wrong on every count," General Mitchell stated. "For 50 years, humanity has been preparing for the day when the galaxy would test our resolve. We hoped that day would never come. The hegemony chose differently. The transmission showed real-time footage from the battle zones. Human ships moved through space like living things, adapting to enemy tactics faster than alien computers could calculate responses. Human soldiers fought with enhanced capabilities that made them seem superhuman to their opponents. To the Hegemony Alliance, President Santos addressed the 15 species directly. "You came here to eliminate what you saw as a threat to galactic stability. Instead, you have revealed that the real threat was your own inability to accept that younger species might surpass your achievements." The battle reports continued streaming in. Of the 1,500 hegemony ships that had entered human space, less than 300 remained functional. Human losses were minimal, their hidden preparations proving devastatingly effective. To the other civilizations of the galaxy who were watching this conflict, the president continued, "Understand that humanity seeks no empire. We want only the freedom to grow, to explore, and to contribute to galactic civilization as equals. But we will not be bullied. We will not be controlled, and we will not be eliminated." Colonel Park's voice came through the command center speakers. "General, the hegemony fleet is requesting immediate ceasefire. Their remaining ships are attempting to withdraw from human space." General Mitchell smiled grimly. "Tell them that. Any ship that leaves human territory peacefully will not be pursued. Any ship that continues hostile action will be destroyed. The choice is theirs." The transmission reached its conclusion as President Santos delivered humanity's final message to the galaxy. "The hegemony gave us a choice between submission and extinction. We have chosen a third option, victory. Let all who would threaten human freedom remember this day. Let them remember that when you corner humans, when you threaten everything we hold dear, you don't face a young species begging for mercy. You face humanity at its most dangerous." The communication ended as human ships across the galaxy ceased their attacks, allowing surviving hegemony vessels to retreat. The message was clear. Humanity had won not just a military victory, but a declaration of independence that would reshape galactic politics for centuries to come. In the aftermath, as alien civilizations reconsidered their relationships with both humanity and the hegemony, one fact became undeniable. The young species from Earth had proven that innovation, determination, and the willingness to fight for freedom could overcome any odds. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. Asterisk.